Hello. There we go. Okay. Hello, SolarLoon here, and welcome to my MasterPlan development stream. It's been a little while since last week. Now it is this week. Hello. How's everyone doing today? So for those who are unaware, I am SolarLoon. I'm an independent game developer and musician, artist. You know, well, not really artist. Like, anyway, I do stuff. And this is what I'm working on right now, which is MasterPlan. It is a graphical idea board and project planning software. You can find it on Steam and itch.io. Both links are in the description to this video. And it's very useful for people who are struggling with motivation, struggling with planning things out. It's primarily made for game developers because I am a game developer, but it also is useful for other people who simply need to plan their days. Yeah, so that's the current situation. That's what I'm working on, and welcome to the stream. Just wanted to verify that, yeah, it is indeed in the description. Okay, we're good. Hello everyone in chat. Bundi, how's it going? Don Duval, hello. Nice to catch another stream. Yes, thank you very much for rolling through. Well appreciated. Yeah, so since the last stream, I've been doing a little bit of work on some things. Managed to get a couple things working better. Now copying and pasting works more correctly with the actual location of your mouse, which is cool. It's nice. Loading and saving should work properly now, so that's cool. Yeah, so overall it's just a couple of improvements and changes, but there are some important changes and improvements to make. So what we're going to do this time around, let me actually get some music going. Let's see, where can we get some music? Oh, that's weird. My file browser isn't responding. Here we go. Yeah, this'll work. Okay, so yeah, so everything's going pretty good. Yeah, and so we're going to be working on this today. So for today, the things that we're going to be doing, I'm actually going to commit the changes I've made so far, and then also probably work on what else? Probably selection of text. I'd like to implement another card type if possible, or maybe context menus, something else. I feel like I can definitely do that. I'm just not sure what I want to do, but I feel like that would be a good thing to work on. Would be maybe the context menu, and maybe maybe context menu. Let's see, cycle through cards, image cards, copy and pasting text, cards as text, selecting text, context menu. Serialization is done. Yeah, okay. Rashad Z says, yo, sup, how's it going? Okay, so the context menu is just going to be a menu like this one that appears when you right click, and it should basically, yeah, just have a little window that has options in it. So that probably would be pretty easy to make. So we'll work on that. Famous last words. That'll probably be easy to make. Let's see. Okay. Let's see. Am I using this anymore? Let's see. I don't think I am, actually. Nope. Okay. Lucretius, hello, welcome to the stream. Wait, didn't I say it's no longer handle collectives? Oh, yeah, I meant setup families. Sure, families, okay. I guess we don't need to do this here. We can do this. Well, no, that's right. That's right. This is important. Okay. All right. Yeah, I forgot it was a little too small for people in chat. Also, this. Yeah. Okay. So let me increase it a little bit more. There we go. Okay, we should be good. Brian Tooltoke says, "Good morning, afternoon, good night." Indeed. For me, good afternoon. But yes, good afternoon, morning, and night to everyone watching. Thank you very much for tuning in. Okay, so we should be good to commit this. It's always important to commit your changes, keep up to date. Serialize project. Okay. You should be good. Let me actually turn on my fan real quick. It's a little warm in here. There we go. All right, and let's actually change the music up a little bit. This is pretty good. Okay. All right, so we went ahead and committed this, so we're good to go. Now, what we're gonna do is work on a context menu. So, I guess actually before I work on a context menu, it probably would be good to fix this because this is gonna be important. The menu shouldn't be zooming in and out when we zoom in and out because it's the menu, right? So it should be fixed. So let's go ahead and look into that. Let's close everything. Menu. Okay, so I think when we actually go to, let's go to the project. And the menu probably should exist outside of the project. Now I think about it, let's put that as a global variable. So let's find it like this. There's no project. The rect is gonna be top left corner. All right. Elements. There we go. Can't use this value. Oh, add elements needs to return the menu. All right, so then when we go to main.go, we want to update the menu before we update the project. And we want to draw the menu after we draw the project. At least I assume. All right, so this should be a good start. We don't want to call, draw globals equals. Got it. Okay, we can't do this. We will do this in main then. All right, that should give us at least a good start. Okay. Cool. Now, when we actually go to draw the menu, what we probably want to do is set the renderer's scale to be 1 by 1 or 100%. I'm not sure if that is how it works. Cool. I thought that was going to be a lot harder than it ended up being. It's not hard at all. Lines of notes. Finish watching that TV show. Okay, so this definitely is working. All right, so now the menu up here is where we really want to figure out how we want to do this. Now, this label is working. What we want to do probably is figure out how much room we have and then go from there. Actually, before we even do that, though, let's refer to our mockup because I like the way the menus looked here, and that's not how they look in my current incarnation of MasterPlan. It looks a little janky. So we want to fix that. Let's see. So a menu is basically, we're going to assume that these two menus are basically the same. And just work on this menu, I guess, first. And then once this is working, we can extend it out to these two menus. Basically, it looks like this menu has a certain design. These two are the same. Whether it draws the corners, though, is basically dependent on whether it's anchored. Like here, it's anchored to the top left, so it doesn't draw this corner, doesn't draw that corner, and it doesn't draw that corner. Here it's anchored to the top right, so it doesn't draw any of the top left, right, or bottom right corners. This is not anchored, so it draws all of the corners. This is a stylistic choice to have it be square here. So we're gonna basically go with that design. Yeah, we're gonna basically go with that design. I'm thinking right now, but I think that makes sense. So what we're gonna do, I'm still thinking, hold on. What we're gonna do, okay. How can we do this? let's start with just designing the Let's just start with designing the actual menu. Let's just start with that, and then we can move on from there. So when you right click, it should open the context menu. If you move too far away, should it close? Let's see. So if I right click here, no, I have to actually click to close it. Okay. It also consumes my click when I do it. Okay. So it should probably be like that, where you right click, it opens the context menu, you have to click to close it, or maybe press escape to close it, and then you can return to neutral. Okay. So we're gonna make another menu for the context menu, because there can only be one. So there's gonna be a main menu and there's gonna be a context menu. We're gonna create the context menu up here. We're going to say it is 256 by 256, and we're going to add elements. This is going to be a new label, I guess we'll say, context menu. Okay, so something like this should kind of work. Now, when you go ahead and right click, which is going to be here, this is going to be actually global shortcuts or mouse actions. Here we go. State neutral. We say if globals.mouse.button, I feel that button right, that pressed, globals dot project dot state is equal to state context menu. Okay. Well, I'll just actually comment these out. All right, and we say if state to state. Actually, we'll put it in the context menu so that if you click outside of the context menu, then we can close the menu. The context menu should be concerned with that. And actually, this isn't something specific to the project. This could probably be a global state rather than being specific to the project like it is currently. But that's okay. This design is fine for now. How many places do we say project.state? Not that many places. Let's fix it. Let's do it correctly. Because this state should be basically true regardless of what project you're in or anything like that. It's a global It's a global state. That makes sense. Hopefully. We'll put it in globals here. Oh, these are consts. There we go. All right, now we turn off state. Okay. And now we can just say global.state is this. All right, so this should work pretty well. All right, and now what we want to do, now that this is working, so yeah, we right click, we can no longer pan, we can no longer, well, we can still pan and stuff with the middle mouse button, which is incorrect. So let's fix that. This is going to be in mouse actions. Okay. So if its state is neutral, we say if, okay, else if state. I guess we could just do it like this. Switch globals.state, state, case state neutral. Case state. Actually, I guess this wouldn't work. Let's see. Nah, that's okay. Because we need to execute this if the state is not current state. Context state, rather. You should be able to zoom in and out pretty much no matter what you're doing. Except for the context state. In that state, you should be kind of locked. Perfect. Alright, we're good. Okay, now we need to go to menu, or rather, main. Menu.update. Okay, so we say, this is probably fine like this. We say if globals.state is equal to state context menu, then globals.context menu.update. Actually, I guess we could just do it like this. No, I guess we should do this in the right order. Okay, so I think this should work. Okay, there's the context menu. And then we go to menu and we say basically, we'll say close on click outside bool. Or we'll say closable. The default is they're not closable. And then you go to here, you say context menu equals new menu. Yeah. So it should be closable. I guess we could say true here. That might be fine. Rube Man says, hey Solar, is Iquia I Know Who I Am on the back burner? Yeah, currently it's on the back burner. It's not canceled or anything like that, it's just on the back burner. I just have other things I need to do that are taking my time and priority, but I do wish to finish it, and I do wish to go back to it. Let's... All right, so this should kind of get what we're trying to do done. That means that we don't have to really have a closable Boolean anymore, because we just don't call open. Yeah, we could just do like this. No, wait, because some menus will be closable. This is fine. Okay, so we say if menu.closable and you click outside, then menu.close. and we say if menu or globals dot. Well, let's see. How do we want to handle this? I'm guessing that an easy way to do this would be to make a function that gets called when the menu gets closed. That way we can monitor it and see basically in the main loop here, or not there, here. If the context menu is closed, then we go ahead and set the state to not be state context menu. That way the menu doesn't have to know it's a context menu specifically, it's just a menu. And that way we can basically say like, oh, some menus are closable, some aren't, some are context menus, some aren't. Like, you know, all of these are different menus, but they fundamentally have the same structure of putting something in a thing and you maybe being able to drag it around. Like the find dialog, you should be able to move around. The status bar would be cool to move around. Somebody asked for that. The context menu, of course, is you can't move it when it's placed, but it's mobile. It changes position. It might be cool to move this up or down or resize it. So like, they're all fundamentally menus. They just do different things. So the menu should be generalized between these functions. So they all have rectangles. They all have controls that you can click on, and that change their internal properties. So closable. Some are closable, some aren't. Opened, some are openable, some aren't. Okay, so we're good on that. Let's see, set rectangle draw, add elements, open, close. Okay. Right, that's what I was thinking. So we go back to menu and we say, here's a close, close func, which is going to be a function that takes, or that gets called when the function is opened or closed, and we'll go with that. Ruben says, does MasterPlan use your own GUI logic system or do you use a separate library? I'm doing the GUI myself. No separate library. Pardon me, no separate library. Big Reggie says, hi brother, hello. Welcome, thank you very much for stopping by. Okay, so these are callbacks basically, and this allows us to know if we click outside the rectangle, the menu gets closed, and then we can go back over to main and monitor it and say if globals.context menu. I guess I don't have to do that, right? I could just say if it's not opened. Yeah, that's the easy. Ruben says, last question, is MVC a meme? Do you mean Marvel vs. Capcom? Big Reggie says model view controller. Either of those are both MVC. I'm not sure if what MVC being Marvel vs. Capcom, Mark of the Millennium 2000. Oh, actually, no, that's Capcom versus SNK. Marvel vs. Capcom 2. One of the greatest games created for the Dreamcast, PlayStation 2. No. Dreamcast, yes. I don't remember if it was for the PS2 actually. That might have been after the PS2. I know it was on the Xbox 360. Anyway, we can pontificate over which is the greatest crossover fighting game in the chat. Let's see. So if it's not open, then we can just say globals.state equals state neutral. Okay. Yeah, then we don't need a callback function at all. We can just monitor it to see if it's closed. That makes it simpler. All right, let's try this. It's a meme, it's a software architect. It's not a meme, it's a software architecture. Yeah, that's correct. Okay. It's flashing because we're updating it, or we're switching to the state, but we're not actually opening it. So let's go to project, and let's actually open it. There we go. Cool. We're gonna actually position the context menu as well. Cool, cool. It's not working correctly. It's not drawing everything correctly, but this is definitely on the right track. We want to limit the... Well, we want to do a few things. Let's get it working correctly first, I suppose. So we want it to look like this. How we do that is to figure out how we want to do that. Like, we can use a 9 patch. That's how I managed to do these cards. These are 9 patches. A 9 patch being basically a texture that has 9 pieces like this. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. And we're just drawing the pieces and then stretching the pieces out as necessary. So the middle gets stretched, the sides get stretched, but the corners are drawn at, 1-to-1 scale, so that you end up with something you can basically rescale and it just draws correctly. We want to do that for this context menu as well. But the thing about it is this, I'm not sure if I wanted to use the same texture. I guess it doesn't really matter if you use the same texture for now. If you use the same, like, proportions for corners, because that's really the thing that's defining what a card looks like in MasterPlan 0.8. This new version is basically these corners. Right? So, like, we can go ahead and oh, it's dependent on scale? It's dependent on scale, okay. Why is it dependent on scale? Hold on. Yo, what? Why am I doing this? This is drastically incorrect. I'm multiplying the position by the zoom of the zoom of the camera. That is incorrect. Fancy corners, yeah. Yo, hello. Same music again. Yeah, this is Ideate. This is a a song I made called Ideate. Yeah, it's a nice little chill tune. Yeah, excuse me. I'm just listening through this to see, like, how does this go? That's loud. Let's see. Yeah, let's chill it out. All right, so yeah, this is incorrect. We shouldn't be multiplying the X and Y position of the mouse by the zoom. The X and Y position should be fixed. The world position should be multiplied by the zoom because it's the world. So yeah, that's what we're not doing that correctly. Why did I ever do that? I must have been just experimenting, I guess, with trying to get it to work. I know this isn't going to work, but let's see if it does. Yeah, it doesn't. Okay. Let's see. Times zoom. There we go. Yeah, so we gotta fix the zoom. It's a little wonky. Okay. Yeah, we're this is working pretty well. But zooming is like zooming from this position, like from 0, which is incorrect. It should be zooming in from the center of the camera. But that's fine. For now, it's fine. All right. Right. So for now, I'm not going to worry too much about how the context menu looks. It's going to look probably a little bit different, but I think it's fine. We just want to fix this so that it's drawing all the pieces of the 9 patch. So I'm going to copy the code. We're just going to, you know what, let me just comment that out. We're going to copy the code that mixed the card work. Recreate, which is this part. So we got corner size down to where it draws the patches. That's largely correct. Largely everything. We're just gonna smush that in here. We won't do this. We don't do that. We don't do this. Draw the patches. Draw the outlines. Okay. Outlines are black. Can we have outlines be a different color? Now the world position is multiplied, then divided by zoom, though. Yeah, I did see that. It seems to work, so I didn't really think about it too hard. But let's see. X times zoom divided by width divided by zoom. This is all in the same order, right? So X, zoom, width, zoom. So yeah, that's actually unnecessary. Oh, we gotta fix this, actually. Okay, so we'll check to see if that works in a second. Now, the thing that we want to do is basically get the width and height of the rectangle. The corner size is 16. Is it 16? Is it 16 by 16? Yeah. Yeah, okay. All right, so this should work. Width, height, we got we're drawing the patches. And then okay, so I want the outline color to be the text color. So like this is this color here, and then this color here, so that the outline is always visible. So we want to get the color, the theme color, UI font color, RGB. All right, so this should kind of work. Okay, I think it's kind of working. It's kind of working. What we want to do is, let's see. So we're drawing the patches. I don't feel like it's necessary to eat up a GPU memory by creating a texture for this. It feels like that's just unnecessary. We're drawing context menu. One context menu. Well, I guess each menu would need its own texture, huh? I mean, it doesn't need its own texture, but each menu could use its own texture. We'll think about it, because I mean, you know, we have in this example, we have 4 menus visible. 1, 2, 3, 4. So each of them could use a texture to handle, like, so it doesn't have to draw 9 pieces all the time. It only has to draw 1 texture. I'll think about it. I gotta see if that's a good idea, but I feel like it's not necessary. So we're drawing the outline or inside, and then we're drawing the outside. Mod. Can I get color? Oops. Color 3, okay. Oh yeah, that's right. So the actual position where it's drawing these is where we're kind of getting into some issues. some issues. Let's see. Render source dest patch. Patch and patches is here. Okay. Yeah, it probably would be easier to just draw it to a texture than draw the texture to the screen, rather than having to draw, like, modify the patches and draw. Yeah, it's just probably easier to make a texture, I guess. How big is it? How big is it going to be, max? Yeah, I guess it's fine. All right, we're going to make a texture. Like, we would have needed to make one anyway when we get to the point of scrolling on a texture, like scrolling up and down in a menu, but this is fine, I guess. We'll say this look back BG texture. And it's going to be a SDL texture. Globals.render.new create texture. I would like it to be pixel format RGBA, if I may. Can I have it be streaming or not streaming? Target. The width is going to be the rect width, and the height is going to be the rect height. Okay. Okay, so this should basically do what we need it to do. And then we are going to make a function. Let's call this recreate. That's weird, I heard something. Anyway, and then we'll just grab all of this. I heard something again. Okay. I might be under attack. No, I'm kidding. I think I'm just hearing someone else in the house. Okay, so draw patches. All right, we're good. So we're just gonna go ahead and... Oh, yeah, we need the color too. Okay, we're gonna grab all of that, put that into recreate. We're gonna move this also to recreate. That seems logical. And then we can say menu.text bg texture equals text. Then we can also turn menu like this. That way we can call recreate here to recreate the texture, and we should be almost good to go. We just need to actually set the render target to be what is this, menu? Yeah, menu dot bg texture screen render dot get render target, and then we set it back to the screen when we're done, and that's largely it. And then we just draw it to the screen. Menu dot bg texture nil. Can we get a menu dot rect? All right, that should basically be it. Oh, okay. Yeah, that should basically be what we're looking for. There we go. Cool. Very nice. Notice how it's like black over there? That's because of us not doing something we should have done, which is probably we need to enable the blend mode. And then there might be something else, but let's see if that fixes it. Nope, that was it. Okay. Cool, so that works. It's not perfect. It doesn't look perfect, but it is pretty solid. Context menu. All right. Now what we want to do next. Oh yeah, and this also fixed up. It's nice. So what we want to do also, you know what? Let me take a look to see what was making that noise. Let's see if I die in a couple seconds. I'll be right back. Hello, I'm alive. I was going to make a joke about how I died and then came back better than ever, but no, I'm fine. I'm fine. I'm alive. Is it really Lunar Soul? That's the question. While I took that small check on what was going on / a bathroom break, I came up with the idea that it would be cool if this additional panel on the right-hand side allowed you to see basically the stuff that's in a page too. So you could like expand it. Let's say you have a little plus, right? Something like, oh my gosh, why is it so hard? Let me just, there we go. Okay, so you have a little plus, but then you could say like, oh, you know, you can click on the plus to turn it into a thing that expands, and then you can see basically the elements that are within the page. That's an idea anyway. Not sure if I'll be able to do it, but I think that could be cool. This would be like a label. Well, it would have the label icon. It would just be like maybe some text from it, like, you know, note of some, Okay. And then it has, where's the note? Yeah, this is what I got. I'm way too zoomed in. There we go. Something like that. Cards. Stopwatch. Yeah, so something like that, right? So it basically it allows you to see what you're, which page you're on. I'm not sure how we would like highlight it, maybe with an arrow saying that this is the active page. That's an idea. I feel like you could also highlight it visually like this or something. And then use like the dark, you know, like black instead of white. That feels a little too busy, visually busy. I feel like that's okay. Something like that. Bundi says maybe you could. That's where you could see links to certain pages on the places on the page. Oh, that's an idea. That's an idea. That's an idea. Bold font, maybe? Yeah, bold font might be a good idea. There's a couple ways we could do it, but I think that that would be a really cool feature because then you could like drag drag entire sections of cards, entire sets of cards from one page to another. You can like view them. You can, you know, all that kind of stuff. You can like see at a glance without actually going in. You can see in a list hierarchical view. You can see what the cards do, like where they are. So that's like a little bit more complicated, but I think it'd be cool. Anyway, this is a good start. Good start. Okay, I'm noticing that you can't click on a task, which is not good. Basically, let's see. Let's fix that. Or I'm sorry, a card. Hold on. I forget your name. Fedor. Okay, there we go. Fedor. What's the program? This is Sprite. This program. It's Sprite, specifically for like pixel art and stuff. And this is what I used to, or am using to basically kind of block out my visual design for the program. Wundi says, I would think just another background color for the active page could work. Then you could customize the color theme to get it to how you want it. Yeah, that might work. Just having like a light blue or a green or whatever color you have specified. Yeah, that might be a good idea. Okay, let's see. Oh yeah, that's right. So you can't click off of the context menu. That is because we have the clicking code here, and we basically only want this to work if resizing. Yeah, we'll put it here. If globals.state is equal to state neutral, then we want this stuff to activate. So that if the state is not neutral, then you can't click. You can't like resize. Yeah, there we go. This is open, you can't click on it. Yeah, okay, we're good. Cool. Now, the next thing we want to do is properly position this, because the context menu looks okay. I mean, it works okay at least. But the actual, like, yeah, okay. The actual, like, positioning of the label is a little jank. We would like it to be centered. Same thing for this test. It would be good if it was centered in the range that the menu has to work with. It would be good if it was centered. Same thing for context menu. So before we move on, what I'd like to do is kind of think a little bit about this, because basically at some point we're gonna be dealing with a project settings section, right? We're gonna need a menu for settings. So you're going to have settings. Let's take a look at the current incarnation of MasterPlan if possible. There we go. So in the current settings of MasterPlan, you have backups, you have grid settings, whether the project is locked, undo step amount, autosave, you have task visualization options. Yeah, you got a lot. So at some point, we're gonna have to probably have a similar system where you're gonna have, you know, a few settings at least. I'm trying to think of how we could simplify this. I think what we might end up doing is basically saying, like, this setup where you have basically a column of options, and clicking a column basically opens up a sub column of options where I assume colors and properties wouldn't be visible. Deadline would probably still be there so that you could kind of see what you clicked on, like what you're doing. But like if you click on deadline, colors and properties would disappear and other options would become available and visible. And then those options would be present vertically in a vertical column, all in the same context menu. I feel like that's okay. Now, if we were to have a settings menu, it probably would have kind of like settings on the left, like categories on the left, and then a main pane for other things. So in other words, what I'm getting at is, I don't know. I don't know quite what the design is going to be for the main menu. Yeah, I don't know. I'm not sure. But I guess we have kind of a general idea of the kind of stuff we'll need to have, right? Like we have a button with a menu with a label, I guess a label with a button. And then we have a clock or a date and time. Well, just a clock, just a calendar rather, just a date on the center. And then a space for the right-hand side. This is arranged vertically, this is arranged vertically, this is arranged horizontally. So basically, we're looking to space things out horizontally and vertically, probably on a grid. So what we're gonna do, let's close this, we don't need this anymore. What we're gonna probably do is just design it in such a way. Okay, we're still good. Design it in such a way to cover basically the use cases that we have currently. So this one first, so that we can place things vertically, and then this one should basically follow. Okay. Okay, so we want to center things horizontally according to the number of items in the menu. Okay. Well, we want to center this horizontally for the number of items in the menu. This we want to center vertically. I guess maybe we could define columns and rows. So we could be like, okay, here's a column, right? One column, but it might have multiple rows that we basically... Maybe we could have a grid. I feel like this is the kind of thing where like I'm gonna get into it and basically like fully design it, and then once we get to the settings section, I'm gonna redesign it. Because I'm envisioning a couple of different means of implementing this. And neither one is, like, none of them are particularly good. I don't know. Like, we could just be like, okay, let's just set it so that a menu is basically arranged horizontally or not. So test would be in the center here. Context menu would be in the center horizontally, but in the center vertically, according to how many items we have in the context menu. Let's center things. For now, let's just center stuff. Let's just go with that. We're going to go with... menu. Here we go. All right, so we're recreating. That's good. Draw. Okay, for each element. Okay, for setting the element rect is equal to... So we're dividing the rect width by the number of elements. Okay, what we're gonna do something a little interesting here. So this lets us know, basically, is the menu horizontal like this, or is it vertical like this? So I guess actually, whether it's horizontal would be... I guess it's always going to be... Okay. Alright, what if we made it so that the menu can expand as necessary? I feel like I'm almost there. I'm not lost in the sauce yet. What I'm envisioning is basically something like this. So this is a context menu. It's designed, you know, with these objects in mind. But if we were to make a context menu that was, or if we were to have a menu rather, that was this large, then we could stick things basically like this. Like that, right? So you have like option A, you have option B, you have option C, you have option D, you have option E, F, right? So basically they're spaced out in a grid, so that if you compress it down to a vertical menu, it becomes a context menu. If you compress it thin horizontally, thin vertically, then it becomes the main menu. Just because that's the way that it distributes the items it holds. So we need to know basically the ideal size for each of the components in the menu, and then if the menu is wide enough, it basically says, let me add a column, let me space these out across the columns. So instead of going A, B, C, D, E, it says, oh, I have space now, so I'll go A, B, C, D, E, F, like that, and then more space A, B, C, D, E, F. that might be the best approach. Okay, let's try that concept out. Let's say we have a where's the main? All right, let's say we have a few like that, right? So it's spacing them out horizontally. I see. Yeah, okay. So let's see. Right, continue. Main. Let's see. Menu element has update, draw, rect, set rect. Label struct. So when we position labels like this, it should only basically space them out if it thinks they can comfortably fit inside of the area. You know what? Let's assume I'm still thinking, but I feel like it's probably easiest to simply assume that menus are just going to be single row or single column, because that's what the majority of menus are. So rather than overcomplicating the design with a lot of generalization, it's easier to just assume we're basically making a sensible menu. A sensible panel, I guess would be the word. So if that's the case, then we can say that context menu is defined to be vertical by default. And the only way it's horizontal is if it's greater, the width is greater than, let's say, 2 times the height. Like this. Okay, we'll call it that. So we say x and y are 0, 0, x plus equal x, y is y. If it's horizontal. Is horizontal. Okay, x plus equal element rect dot width, else y plus equal element rect dot height. Okay, let's try this. Oh, they're all drawing. They're drawing here, here, and here. What's the... Oh, I see. Plus, I see. So we say if element rect, or rather if menu dot is horizontal, else. Okay. So spacing 8 equals 1232. You know what? Let's even make this simpler. We'll say if it's horizontal, let's make this simple as possible. If it's horizontal, then spacing is going to be, well, let's just say spacing is 32. What we want to do is set the element's rectangle to be the element's original rectangle, like so. But we also want the x to be x, the y to be y, and then we just add spacing as necessary. All right, this is 32 and spacing. Let's try that. All right, better. There's space better. The spacing should probably be smaller then. Let's say 16. And then if horizontal, okay, if vertical, all right. X and Y should be menu.rect.x. Okay, I think we're on the right track. All right, better. Now we want to center them. So we say basically, if it's a vertical menu, or rather, yeah, if it's a vertical menu, then we want to say rect.x plus equals menu.rect.width divided by 2 minus rect.width divided by 2. I think that'll get us where we want to go. It most certainly did not. Let's see, rect.x plus equals rect. Yeah, shouldn't that put it like dead center? Yeah, and then we just subtract. Wait, minus. Oh, okay, we want to do this. I believe, no, that's how it was already. This should work. Rect.width divided by 2. What's rect? Oh, right. Yeah, okay. It's because we're giving it this absurd label size. So maybe the label should be centered within the label. Does that make sense? That most certainly does not, but at the same time, I'm not sure how else I can do this. Let's see. So the label is being drawn to a texture, and we're providing the size of the texture to use. What we want to do is get the actual size of the element, which for a label would be basically the rect composed of the X and Y, and then the render result size. Yeah. Width and height. Width. Yeah, okay. So that's the actual size. All right. So what we want to do is make a function that gets us the actual size of a menu element. I feel like I'm on the right track. I'm just not quite there. Let me do a couple things here. Firstly, let me delete all of this stuff because this is just code I'm not going to use probably. And then let's also make a button type. Let's see. All right. So I'm thinking something like this. I think it probably would be useful to, yeah, work on a button so I can kind of get an idea of how this is supposed to work. And then also we need to set a rectangle. It's SDL frect. And then button.rect is equal to rect. And that's basically it. Okay. Draw is going to be globals render draw rect. And then right, so that's basically it. Let's see. All right, so we're pretty much on the right track. I'm gonna go over here and say, let's make a new button so I can kind of get an idea of how this is supposed to work. This is gonna be an SDL frect. Let's say it is 128 by 32. And let's see how this goes. I can't tell if it's working or not. I mean, that is the square, but I'm not sure if it's properly drawing or not. Let's go back to GUI. We wish to fill it with the menu color and then draw it with the font color. There we go. Outline it with the font color. All right, so this is a button. At least that's the theory. So okay, this does seem to be working correctly. Let's see. Let's say it's a little bit bigger and a little bit wider, and let's see if it still is positioned properly. Yeah, that's right. Okay, so if it's working largely correctly, then is it working? Yeah, it is working largely correctly. So then the issue is that labels just have an internal, like, let's see. Should we... The core issue here is essentially labels aren't being centered. And if the label is being centered in the menu, then we have to center the label otherwise. Okay, so then we just have to do it right. All right, let's do it. This is a string, I guess. All right, so then horizontal alignment, align left by default. Okay. So then when we actually recreate the texture, we render the text. Let's see. So then actually the text renderer should have its own alignment. All right, so then when we go to render it, we say X and Y is here. If br dot horizontal alignment is equal to align center, X equal to width divided by 2. All right, so this is a good start. I don't know if this will actually work, but it's a good start. Right, so now what we want to do is go to here, new label, horizontal alignment, set to text. Create the texture. All right, let's see, render text. Oh, render a result. Oh. Okay. So when we go say to render text, we're just going to take an alignment. That way we don't have to store it. Okay, we're good. Okay. This is align left by default. Okay, so now when we go to main, we can say label. I guess we could actually give a horizontal alignment. Yeah, that makes sense. like that. Okay. Okay, I think we're on the right track. Yeah, okay. That's right, that's right. Yo, that's close. That's close. When we go to GUI, so x equals width divided by 2. Width is the word wrap max. 2. Let's see. Line count is going to be count returns 1 plus the number of Unicode points in S. The number of non-overlapping instances of subster. So if there's 0, then it returns 0. So we want to do that plus 1. And we say size y is going to be line count times globals dot line skip. That's incorrect though. The height of a line is the grid size. Okay. So this is going to be width. Okay. Size for rooms. All right. So and then minus size for rooms. Text. Okay, that should basically be it. I think. That's not it. It was worth a try, though. I think that it was worth a try. I did a lot of code writing. It just didn't work out. Let's see. Size for runes. X. minus size rooms 6. That's close though. That's close. It's just not centered. The width, yeah, the maximum width divided by 2 minus, and this is almost like a perfect. Yeah, so like this is basically the middle point minus the size of the divided by 2. My bad. There we go. All right, that's pretty accurate. Yeah, so these are going to be choices, or these are going to be buttons essentially that you can click on, and they'll do stuff. That's pretty accurate. That's pretty good. Lucretia says, Solar, is this code base more of a rewrite or a refactor? Seems like you're coding a lot, which is why I asked. This is a rewrite, yeah, because, you know, I had to go from raylib to SDL2, and so a lot of that, it means, you know, a complete reworking of the internals for like window creation and texture loading and all that stuff. And then on top of that, all of the GUI stuff I made depended on raylib's rectangles and raylib's, you know, vectors and stuff like that. So it's just, I'm basically rewriting everything from scratch. And that's why you see me code a lot, because all of this stuff, I mean, I can use some of this stuff, but a lot of it uses raylib's functions. So it's just like, well, I might as well just completely start from scratch. In addition to the UI design, might as well start from scratch with how the UI is like actually done. Overall, this is pretty good. Pretty solid. We just need it to basically look nicer. But these should be clickable, and then we should be able to actually have them do stuff. Now, how we're going to actually manage that is a different question altogether, because I can like design, you know, it through this menu and say like, okay, let's say you have like, you know, create new task, right? Create card, copy card, delete card, cut cards, what else? Properties. What else? Yeah, we'll start with those. Like, you can do that kind of stuff. Yeah, but then like how are we gonna actually determine like, oh yeah, you clicked on create card, you clicked on copy card, you clicked on delete cards? That's kind of the question. And then the button is down here, hanging out at the bottom. But yeah, this is so far pretty good. It's just a matter of actually figuring out how we're gonna like make it so you can click on stuff. That's kind of questionable. How will we make it so you can click on stuff? This is a button. These are all going to be buttons. They're not going to probably have outlines and stuff. They're just going to have maybe a little icon and maybe change color when you highlight over them. Wish there was... is there a bold variant of this? There might be a bold variant of this font. I think there is, actually. That's probably what... That would help, I think, in this situation. It's a little hard to see. Yeah, there is. Okay. I guess I don't have to do that. We can just do this. Let's see, how do we want to do this? So we have quicksand OTF, quicksand bold OTF. The local font or font name is going to be quicksand. For now, this is fine. There we go. Okay, now we're gonna go to GUI again, or rather, main, I guess, yeah. Let's see. Oh, whoops. Let's see. Lucretia says, is it more interesting now or more when you began? I think it's kind of equally interesting. I wouldn't say it's more or less interesting compared to the past. Yeah, it's about the same, I guess. I think you'll find Godot really useful for this, but Go seems more fun. The language is super nice. Maybe you can make the context menu just imply a list of items, and items can be a button or label or whatever. Yeah, that's how it currently works. It doesn't have to be a button or label, it just has to be something that has the functions that a button or label presents. So if I want to change it to be like a slider, I can add that functionality. I can just define a slider with those functions, and then I can slap it into the list without issue. Oh yeah, that's right. I wanted it to be bold. I'm not sure if this is the best way to go about it, but I think it's okay for now. Let's see. I just want to test it out, see how it looks. So we have bold. When we go to the label, let's see. Actually, we have to say like label.recreate. And then this is going to use the render text here, text renderer. Oh, so we would need a different text renderer. You know what? I'm not even gonna do this. This is too deep of a change, and this isn't the right way to do it. This isn't the right way to do this either, but it's not definitely not the right way to do this. Bold business. So what I'm gonna do instead, I'm just gonna swap the font so I can kind of see how it looks. There we go. That is vastly better. Yeah, that's just way better. I'm probably gonna need to do something that allows for bold and not bold, unless I just want the entire thing to be bold. I guess. I mean, there's nothing wrong with that. Like that's really readable. And it's basically the same thickness as my icons, which is cool. Maybe I'll just leave it bold. That does look really good actually. It just makes it a stronger font overall, and it's just more readable at distance. I think I'm just gonna leave it like that, honestly. There's not really reason to change it to be something else. It's just easily readable, so I guess I'm just gonna leave it like that. Okay, all right, that's cool. This needs to be vertically centered. Ooh, this needs to be vertically centered, but overall, this is kind of what we're looking at. I think, yeah, I think that's pretty correct, pretty solid. I feel like this color is much like chiller than the color that's in here, but maybe it's just my mind playing tricks on me. I don't know. Lucretia says, "How are you drawing the grid?" By the way, it's this little patch, this little square on my GUI sheet. I'm drawing that onto a texture that I then draw and tile. The STL2 doesn't have any ability to like wrap. It doesn't do texture wrapping, which is unfortunate because that's kind of a nice feature to have. So you have to do it yourself. So I basically draw a piece of the grid. So I have a big grid texture, which is like 256 by 256 or something like that. And then we're just drawing it out for a little while. Like the longer you go, eventually you're gonna run into, you're gonna stop seeing the grid. There it is. This is the edge of the grid, which I think is probably fine. I don't probably need to do like an actual infinite grid. Considering that's it's so big, it's probably fine to just leave it the way it is. I'm trying to just show how large of a distance it is. From here all the way. Yeah, I mean it's a rather large distance. I don't feel like we need to really draw an infinite grid. Zadek says the font needs more above and below it. I'm not sure what you mean. I like more spacing above the text and below. Seems a little tight on the text box. It was tighter before, I think. It felt like it feels like it's pretty solid here. Yeah, it's pretty even. I mean, the bottom line, I guess, is a little a little suspect. I mean, yeah, that's pretty. I mean, it could be a little. It could not have so much room up here, but it's largely correct. It's pretty accurate. Don Duval says, "Hey, still streaming. I had to step out for about an hour. Yeah, I'm gonna wrap up in a couple seconds actually. But yeah, we managed to get a pretty good amount done. Context menu, it's not perfect. We're still working on it. Nice looking chunky font. Yeah, this is which font is it? Quicksand font. I think it's open source actually. It looks pretty nice. But yeah, we have a nice context menu. We just have to make it so that these options are actually like clickable and they actually do stuff, and then we should be good to go. All right. Okay. Well, this has been a pretty productive stream. Hopefully, I'll be able to keep making progress. We'll see how this turns out. Hopefully, off stream. And also, wanted to keep everyone up to speed. MasterPlan has undergone a price increase from $15 to $18, so just a couple of bucks, because it's basically getting more and more advanced. And I've been updating it pretty regularly / pretty heavily before this most recent major update, and so I feel like it's time to kind of put it up a little bit. And I'll probably do it one more time, I imagine, before release or on release. Yeah, so just wanted to kind of mention that. Also, I'm gonna see about trying to stream regularly. It seems like it might be Tuesday and Friday, because I feel like that's not too like back to back, while also being frequent enough that I can kind of keep it up and keep people up to speed as I make stuff. It's not so infrequent, so rare. Don says, if we bought it a while ago, will we get the new version? Yeah, you'll get it. This version I'm working on is the updated version, and this is the version that you'll get once it's done. So all updates in the past and as far as I'm working on it, all updates in the future will be free. So if you bought it for $15, then you'll get the $18 version. If you bought it for $15 and it goes up to $20, you'll get the $20 version. It's the same application on Steam and itch. Nothing changed there. Well, yeah. So thanks. Thank you very much for your support. Really do appreciate it. And I'm gonna head off, try to get something to eat and chill. But yeah, it's been fun. I thank you very much for supporting and for stopping by, and I'll catch you guys on the flip side next time with more development or music or art or whatever. See ya.